2024 is almost over, and 2025 is just around the corner. And for many of us, this is a great time of year to reflect on what we achieved over the past year, and also maybe the things that we didn't achieve in order to help us plan for an even better year ahead. I'm Dr. Alan Johnson, and on this channel I talk about the mind, well-being, productivity, and change for thinkers, makers, and everyone in between. Did you know that on average, we stick to our New Year's resolutions for only around 4.5 months? And for more than 1 in 5 of us, the resolutions that we set at New Year's last for less than 30 days. You might be surprised to hear that only 6% of New Year's resolutions actually last for the entire year. So to make 2025 your best year yet, I want to take you through this brief New Year's resolution setting workshop to help you think about your goals and ambitions in a slightly different way. Because we have a tendency in our culture to think of a goal as something that will bring us happiness in the future, that we will only be able to obtain happiness once we have achieved this particular goal, once we have gone to the gym 5 times a week, once we've gotten the promotion of work, once we have had a family or bought the house with a white picket fence. So what our goals can very oftentimes do is push the possibility of happiness further into the future, reinforcing the false belief that we can only be happy when we have more of something different. But what if we set our goals in a slightly different way? And we set our New Year's resolutions in ways that acknowledge and demonstrate gratitude for what we already have, while opening up space for new opportunities in the future. And this is where psychologist Martin Seligman's PERMA model comes in. PERMA is an acronym that stands for positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and achievement. And together, Seligman argues, these represent the primary qualities of happiness. And the PERMA model then represents a model for achieving happiness. So as we're reflecting now on 2024, why don't we spend some time thinking about what we have achieved in terms of our happiness? So I'm going to give you a series of reflection questions for each part of the PERMA model. And you might want to pause the video at that point to get out a journal or simply write on your computer or phone some of your reflections. So let's begin first with positive emotions. What were the most joyful moments you experienced throughout the past year? Reflecting on challenging times, how did you cultivate positive emotions to navigate difficulties? Did you engage in activities that brought you a sense of contentment and fulfillment? And how can you incorporate more activities that elicit positive emotions in the coming year? Go ahead and pause the video now and spend a few minutes reflecting on this. Let's move next to engagement. Question 1, identify the patterns or projects that made you feel completely absorbed and engaged. Were there times when you expected a state of flow, losing track of time while working on something meaningful? Did you pursue hobbies or interests that brought a deep sense of satisfaction and engagement? And how can you structure your daily or weekly routine to include more activities that bring a sense of engagement? Go ahead and pause the video now and reflect on these. And next, relationships, the R of the PERMA model. Reflect on the quality of your relationships with friends, families, and colleagues. Were there any conflicts or challenges in your relationships that need resolution or improvement? What actions did you take to strengthen existing relationships or cultivate new, meaningful connections? And how can you prioritize and nurture your relationships in the coming year? Go ahead and pause once again. Moving now to M for meaning. First question, consider the goals and values that provided a sense of purpose for you in the past year. Were there moments when you questioned or reaffirmed your sense of meaning and purpose? Reflect on areas that aligned with your personal values and contributed to a greater sense of meaning? And finally, what new goals or areas of focus can you explore to enhance the overall meaning in your life in the coming year? And go ahead and pause. And finally, the last part of the PERMA model, accomplishment, or sometimes called achievement. Begin by listing the significant achievements and accomplishments over the past year. Reflect on goals you set for yourself and assess the progress you made toward achieving them. Were there any setbacks or obstacles that impacted your sense of achievement, and how did you overcome them? And then finally, what new goals or challenges do you want to set for yourself in the coming year? For one final time, go ahead and pause. I hope that you've found these reflections useful, because what you might have noticed is that the final question in each point in the PERMA model began to show you the goals that you are aiming for in 2025. In each of these, you began by reflecting on a different quality or attribute of happiness, the highs and the lows, the ways in which it was present, absent, or somewhere in between over 2024. And then those final questions in each of the categories gave you the clues to how to bring more of that quality of happiness into 2025 ahead. So go ahead and circle or underline those key points in your final answer for each item in the PERMA model. And then spend a little bit of time putting that into your list of your resolutions, your goals, your targets, your adventures, your manifestations, your dreams for 2025. If you want to get 2025 off to a really, really good start, I have put together a 30-day mindfulness workshop, which I'll link below for you to have a look at. And there's a special discount on it up until the new year. And in this 30-day workshop, it's kind of like an at-home meditation retreat that is going to take you through the introspection that will help give you a sense of stability and strength and the possibility of forward momentum at the beginning of the new year. Integrative Meditation Level 1 is a really, really fantastic tool to help you cement good habits, to build healthy routines, and to make sure that you're living up to your fullest potential. Because remember, when we set goals, we aren't consigning happiness to the future. Instead, we are setting goals for how we can find even more contentment in what lies ahead. Have a great 2025 ahead, and feel free, and please do share this video with anyone who you think might enjoy it. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe, because there's going to be a lot more content on this channel in the year ahead that takes us through the different seasons of the year and the different reflective and contemplative practices that we can draw upon to live our most fulfilling, our most creative, and our most nurturing lives. I'll see you next time.